Hey, hi everyone, this is Mukesh Otwani once again from learn-automation.com. Today in this video, we are going to talk about how we can create a Maven build for our framework. In our previous videos, we have seen how to create a framework and how to add the dependencies, how to create the test, generate the report, add the test data configuration file. Now we need to create a Maven build. Through this Maven build, okay, we can execute our test. So this build can be your any task, okay, but when we talk about Selenium, this Maven build will run our set of test cases. So let's talk about what exactly we will cover in this video. We'll talk about how to install Maven if you have not configured till yet. So this Maven is required when you have to run the build through command prompt. Then we'll talk about surefire plugin. So in order to create Maven build, we need to use one plugin called Maven surefire plugin. So we will use this plugin in our pom.xml and we can run our XML files. Then we'll also talk about the different commands which we have. So we have clean, install, test. We have some more commands, but these commands are not required for our framework as of now. We'll talk about them in future videos. And we will see how we can execute this command through command prompt and through Eclipse as well. As of now, we are executing these builds through command prompt Eclipse. In future, we will run, or in the next video, we'll see how we can run this build from Jenkins as well. And the very important part, which I like the most, called parameter passing. So if you don't want to hardcode certain parameters, certain values to your test, you can always pass them as a parameter to your Maven. Okay, and while running the build, you can pass all these parameters. So in terms of changes, just we need to add one tag in the pom.xml and you can create the parameters as well. So let me show you the this is our framework, right? So we have discussed this in our previous videos. This is what exactly we have. Okay, so till now we just have added few dependencies. These dependencies we are getting, or these we are utilizing in all these pages, test cases and utility. Now let's talk about one plugin called surefire plugin. So Maven have one predefined plugin called surefire plugin, and if you just go to their official site, you will get to know more about it. So this plugin is used during the test phase of a build lifecycle to execute the unit test of the application. But we are not executing the unit test cases, we are executing our Selenium tests. Okay, so that also you can call this as smoke scenarios, regression scenarios, or end-to-end scenarios. So what exactly we'll do, we will use this plugin to execute our XML files. So if I show you, okay, so let me show you this first, what exactly this Maven surefire plugin is. Just a second. Yeah, so you can see this surefire plugin is used during the test phase, which I just discussed. Now it also generates two different format of reports. One is XML file, plain text files. Anyways, we are not bothering about reporting, but in case if you want to see the report, you can find these reports in the target folder in the surefire reports folder, which will be with .xml. I will show you this. Now if you see, this plugin can be used with all these use cases. Okay, so you can use this plugin for TestNG. You can also execute your JUnit 5, JUnit, Pojo test, and many more. You can also see you can use the same surefire plugin to run your test in the Docker container. Okay, so as of now we are going to discuss about the TestNG. So when you click on TestNG, it says you just need to add. Okay, so you can see we have, first it is asking in order to run you need to configure TestNG, that we have already done. Next part is you can give your suite XML files, okay, which XML file you want to run. So they have already given you a proper syntax. So let's copy paste this. I will explain you what exactly it is. So what we need to do, first open your pom.xml, and since we are going to create a build file or a build of your test project, which is nothing but your Maven build, so we have a central tag called build tag that you need to end. Now inside this build tag we need to paste this plugins. Okay, you can remove this, you can remove this statement as well. Now you can see we have one tag called plugins. Inside this plugins, you can add n number of plugins. So as of now, we are just dealing with one plugin called surefire plugin. So you can see it also have group ID, artifact ID version. Now it has one more tag called configuration. Okay. So in this configuration, we are just telling that I want to run my one XML file, which is testng.xml file. They have just given a standard name. If you have any other name like smoke scenario.xml, regression.xml, end-to-end.xml, whatever you name you have given, you just pass the same here. Now this is just one XML file, and you can see here we have kept our XML files inside one folder called XML files folder. So what we will do, we'll go ahead and change it. So by default it will search in your home directory. So we are not going to search the home directory. First we will give XML files. Okay, and we are going to pass like what exactly the path is. Okay, so give one / and we are telling go to this folder, run this XML file, and your build is ready. Now let's see when you run this build what exactly it does. Now when you're running this build first time, definitely you are going to face some exceptions, some errors. So we'll see one by one. Okay, so let's run this. Now in order to run, either you can run through command prompt or you can run through Eclipse as well. So let me run this through Eclipse. In the next step we will see how we can run through command prompt. Okay, so just right click on your project, or you can right click on the pom.xml as well, because one project can have only one pom.xml file. So it doesn't matter whether you are doing the right click on the project or in the pom.xml, it works in the same way. Just run as, and you can see the different commands. So we have Maven clean. So let's try to do Maven clean. So what exactly this does, if you just open this console window, you can see it says build success. What exactly this clean will do, it will go to your project, and in the project we have one folder called target folder. It will delete this folder, that's all. So this target folder contains your previous reports and the jars and everything, so it removes everything. Okay, so clean, just to clean your target folder. Now the next command is right click, run as Maven install. Now Maven install will do two things. Okay, first it will see if any dependencies there or not. If yes, it will skip. If not, then it will download. Second part, it will build your complete project. It will generate a jar, and plus it will run your test as well. So when you click on Maven install, let's see. Okay, it is compiling everything, it is doing all this, and finally it is trying to start our test. Okay, now here's a very important thing. Now if you have followed my previous videos in this series, you must have noticed that previously the URL was freecrm.com index.html, right? But now the URL has changed. Now the complete URL has changed. It means now we need to again modify the URL. Now this is the perfect example where your framework can help you. Right now URL change, you don't have to modify the test. You can go back to configuration file and you can change it. Perfect example how framework can help you. Okay, so let me quickly change the URL. So I guess the new URL is something classic.crmpro.com index.html. Yeah. Okay, you can see now we can see the old UI. So if you do not have framework, again you have to go back to the test and make the changes. As of now, again still we have one test, so it will not impact much, but consider in a big picture when you have 50-100 scenarios and you have to change. Okay, so now we have changed. Again we can go ahead and run, right click, run as Maven install. Now right now it is not throwing any error, but when you run it first time you will get one exception, or I will say the error. So I will tell you how you can fix that error. Okay, so it will run my test as usual. So the error which I'm talking about is no compiler. Okay, you will get this exception when you're doing first time. No compiler is provided at runtime. Please consider adding JDK, something like that you will get. Like you are running on JRE, kindly add the JDK, no compiler has been provided. So in that case, okay, it seems something. Okay, so our test is failing, no problem, it is okay. What we did in the previous video, we changed the locators forcefully just to fail our test, right? So we will go ahead and modify. So that is not our intention for today. Our intention is like we need to see how we can create a Maven build. Now in the previous sessions we have changed this username to username 1 and it was failing, but our build got failed as expected. Now why build is failing? Now build will fail even if a single test is failing. Okay, let's consider you have 100 scenarios that you want to run. So when you run your build, it will definitely run all the 100 scenarios. Even if a single test fail, your build will fail. Okay, now if you just notice this, it says it is generating one kind of report in this folder. So let's see this surefire reports as well. So just right click on your framework and refresh. You will see the target folder and you can see this Maven surefire reports. So this is the XML file. Okay, this is the index.html, email report.html and many other things. We are not interested as of now because we are anyways creating extend report, correct? Okay. Now if you get this kind of exception like no compiler is provided, then what you can do, just go to Windows, click on preferences and search for JRE. You will get one option called installed JRE. So by default in your system you will get this option called JRE. You will not have JDK while you're doing first time. Since I have done many times, it is already selected. What you need to do, you just have to click on add, select the standard VM and navigate to the JDK. Okay, so JDK we have in C drive, program files, Java, JDK and click on OK and it will add all. Since it is already added, so you can see it is giving this JRE name is already in use, but in your case you can click on finish, select the JDK option and click on apply and close. In case it is not giving any error, it's good to go. You can continue with your build. Now again we have done some changes. Now let me quickly run this build again so that we can continue. And it is your building your framework, everything. Okay, so let it build. Now what we have done so far, we have added the XML files. Now the next part is parameters. Now why parameters are required, I will show you now, and how it can be added. Now in Maven we already have a tag called system property variables. What exactly it does, it will give you the flexibility that you can pass any parameters, depends on your choice. Okay, you can pass my name, you can pass my skills, you can pass my phone number. You just need to create some custom tags and these variables or the properties you can access in your test as well. Okay, you can see this build has been successful. And now one thing which I want to show you, if your build is successful, can you see this installing some jar file? So once your build is successful, you get a jar as well. So now if you talk about the development, how the development happens, once they build the complete applications, they get one exe, they get one jar, right? So this is how it happens. Once your build is successful, you will get one jar file or var file or exe, and this can be deployed. Since this jar is not important for us, but just want to show you, if your build gets success, you get a jar file if you're working as a development environment or a developer. But anyways, we are not going to deal with this. So whenever we do Maven clean, this will delete my target folder and this will delete my jar as well. Now, a very good example of parameter passing. So you have seen what exactly went wrong today, that URL changed and we couldn't run our test. Then we went back to our config file and we changed it. Now what if I want to create my test in a such a way that where user can pass, where I will give liberty to the user that they can pass three things to my build. Whenever they have to run a build, they have to pass which browser to use, which application to use, and which XML file they want to trigger. Now as of now we have only one XML file, but let's consider a scenario you have multiple XML files and each XML is responsible for one set of tests. Okay, so one testng.xml is responsible for regression, one testng.xml file or testng2.xml file for end-to-end scenarios, one XML file is responsible for end-to-end scenarios. It can be anything. So the third parameter which we want to take is the XML files. Now how we can pass these parameters? Now first of all, these parameters anyways we are taking from config file, then why we should take from command prompt? Well, it depends on your requirement. I don't want to change my configuration every time. Okay, whenever I have to run on a different environment, I will simply change this URL from the command or while executing my build. I don't want to change my browser every time in the configuration file. I want my test to be executed in a different browser. So whenever I run my build, I can pass the parameters like run on Firefox, run on Chrome, run on this production environment, run on this test URL, and my test should start. So I don't want to be dependent on a configuration file. In that case, you can make the changes in the pom.xml. Okay, now let's see how it works. So we have anyways added this plugin, right? So the good part about this plugin is you can directly add a separate tag called system property variables. Now you can see here what exactly it does. It will ask you, give me the properties to the pass which we can pass to the JUnit test. But yes, we can use the same for testng as well. And very important part, it will ask you the key value pair. If you already know the map, it's fine. If you don't know the map, you can go back and watch my Java videos where we have discussed what exactly is list, set, and map. So map, it will take key value pairs. So this is what exactly we will do. This is map parent tag. Make sure it should come under configuration, guys. It should not come outside configuration. So now let me add one property called browser. Okay, and this browser I want to use in my test. So I will use the dollar symbol and I will say, let's say browser itself. You can take any name. So I have given browser so that we should not get confused. But in case you want, you can change it to execution browser or any names. Okay, I will say execution browser so that you should not get confused with these tags and with the variables. So execution browser is just a name. I can give Mukesh as well, but the main thing is this is my variable. Now I want to pass the same to my test. Now if I go back to my test, which is login CRM, and right now I'm getting browser from configuration file, right? I'm getting this browser config.get browser from a configuration file this time. Okay, so let me comment this code so that we can revert back in case something goes wrong. Just comment this, and here we will. So first of all, we need to accept this, right? We will take that this method will accept one variable called browser, and same browser we are going to pass. Now how Maven will pass the browser variable to this, right? So we have a separate annotation called parameters, okay, where you can accept n number of parameters. So what exactly I want to accept as of now? Only the browser. Guys, remember this and this should match. If I pass ABC here, it should be ABC here. So whenever I pass the parameters, it will also automatically accept, it will pass into this, and the same value will be passed here. If you want to see how it works, let's see. So again, I will go back to my pom.xml file, run as, okay, so till now we haven't seen build. Okay, so let's click on the build. You can see, right, goals. So we have seen how to use clean, how to use install. Now when you run this, what happens? Let's see. When you run this, okay, it is running, and yes, it failed. As expected, it should fail because my test is expecting a browser, but I haven't passed the browser. So we need to pass while running our build. So again, go back to Maven build. This time say clean, install, and can you see this one more option called parameters? So click on add, what name, browser, and Chrome is the value. This is the same which I have given in the pom.xml. Now what happens when you run this command? It will pass one browser variable property to my build. That build will pass the same browser to my test. Now let's click on apply and run it. And you can see it is working as expected. It is running on Chrome, right? So we have seen how to pass parameters. Now let me quickly pass 2-3 more parameters. So what we discussed till now, we discussed we want to pass a browser. We want to also pass URL. So I will say URL or app URL. Same I will change here, and this I will say URL to be tested. I just want to give some meaningful so that I can use it effectively. Now I will go to my base class. So you can see again we are using config dot get staging URL. So we are taking from configuration file, but this time again I will take from poms. I will say URL, and the same URL I am going to pass here, and here also we need to accept, right? So open curly bracket, close curly bracket. Now these two variables will be passed from Maven to this, and this we will pass here to this method, and these variables will be passed here. So now your build is parameterized with browser and URL. Now the next is our XML files. Now how to parameterize the Excel file? So our files will be here, right? We will not change it. It will be always in this folder. So what we can do, again we put dollar, curly bracket start, curly bracket end, and I can give one name called XML files. Now whatever name I will pass, it will simply replace. If I pass mukesh.xml, it will come XML files / mukesh.xml. Whatever name I pass, it should come here. Now let's run this build again, and you can see we are getting one error here called why this error is coming, manifest dot. Okay, so once we update the project, it should go ideally. Okay, you keep on getting this kind of issue, so just update the project. If you are sure that you haven't done any changes, wrong changes in the configuration file, it should not throw any other error. Okay, so let me just do a small formatting. So this is suit XML file, this is system property variables. Now let me quickly run this pom.xml file. Run as, and you can also click on run configuration file. So just a small hint or quick tips I can give. Like this is a Maven build, right? You can create your own configuration while clicking on this option. Okay, and you can save this configuration as well. But if you don't want to save, whatever last command you execute, it will automatically save your configuration file. Okay, so you can see first time we use this without variable, second time we have used this with browser variable. So you can change this. Let me give this name as my config. Okay. So in the my configuration, I am adding already one browser, plus I will add URL to be tested. And what URL I can give? Oh, I can give same application which I am testing. And the third one which I want to give is XML files, right? Let me check what is, okay, XML files, F capital, and I want to run testng.xml as of now. Click on apply and click on run. And it should work as expected. Yes, now everything is running fine from Eclipse. Now we need to see how we can run the same thing from command prompt, because every time I don't want to go to Eclipse, I want to create a build configuration and run. So I want some way where I just need to make these changes and it should run. So in order to do that, you need first of all Maven. Okay, so let's download Maven. So just type download Maven, you will get their official link. Installing Maven, it just, you need to download one zip file if you're working on Windows. Okay, so just click on this, it will download a zip file. Okay, when you unzip this file, you will get one directory. So you don't have to do double click install, it is just a library. So what you can do, just go to your My Computer, go to your properties, go to advanced system settings, click on environment variables, and you need to set the path at two different locations. Okay, so first is your Maven underscore home, and you need to tell where exactly your Maven is located. So let me quickly check where is my Maven. My Maven is at this location. Okay, so when you download the zip file, it will come something like this. The current version which we have is 3.6.0. I have still the older one, still works fine for me, so I have not updated, which is 3.5.2. But if you are working with the latest version, it will be 3.6.0. When you unzip this, you will get this folder. So first task is, you need to take this home directory and you need to create a variable called Maven underscore home, all in capital letters, and you need to provide the path. Next task is, you need to again go to path variable, click on edit, go till the last, and you need to give the path till bin directory. Here is the Windows command which actually executes our Maven build. So you need to take the path till bin, go till last, paste the path, add semicolon, and click on OK. I already have added, so I don't want to click on OK. I will click on cancel. In your case, you need to click on OK, apply, and again OK. Your Maven is installed. Only just download it, unzip it, set the Maven underscore home, set the path variable till bin, and you are ready to go. Start a command prompt and just type mvn. So when you give mvn, it is failing, and it is expected because Maven always try to find pom.xml. So I directly started command prompt and I said mvn, it is trying to find pom.xml and it is not able to find. So it is also saying that no goals has been found, because whatever commands we give, clean, install, test, deploy, these are nothing but the goals for Maven. Okay, and if you ask me what is goal, goal is nothing but a task which you are asking Maven to do. Now if you work with Apache Ant, then it is called task. If you work with Gradle, it will change. For Maven, it is goal. So when we say clean, it has a proper task that it will go and delete the target folder. So you can see these are the predefined goals in Maven like verify, install, deploy, pre-clean, post-clean, pre-site, post-site, and many things. For the testing purpose, we use install, clean, and test, which is this. And if you want to check which version it is, so just type mvn-version. It should give you 3.6.0 in your case, my case 3.5.2. Perfect. Now, where is our project? We need to go back to the same directory. So this is our property, and I will open my framework. So this is our pom.xml. So what you can do, just type cd this, or else you can directly type cmd here. This is Windows functionality. Like if you go to that folder, type cmd, it will automatically take that path. Now when we say mvn clean, it should clean my target folder. Everything is green. Now let's say mvn install. Okay, it is trying to run your goals, which is nothing but one XML file, and it is failing because we haven't passed what parameters, right? It should accept, and it is failing. So if you just try to see the logs, okay, I'm not able to maximize it. Let's see. Okay, it says there are some test failures because it is not able to find XML file. Perfect. Now it means we need to pass parameters. So how to pass the parameters? You need to always use -d. So I will say mvn install -d. Now when you say -d, it will accept key value pair. So what key we need to provide? Okay, so let's see what key. First key is browser, right? So I will give browser equal to Chrome space -d again. What key? The URL to be tested equal to, and again the URL. So just a second. Yeah, this is the URL. And finally -d, what one more parameter we have called XML files equal to testng.xml file. Hit enter and it should work this time. So -d, whenever you have to pass parameters, and you can see our test started. Guys, just a small disclaimer. If you don't want to use parameter passing, it is up to your requirement. If you don't want to pass through command prompt at runtime, it's okay. If you're okay with the configuration file changes, Excel data changes, it is also fine. It is just another way when you don't want to hard code in the configuration file as well. You want every time user can pass. And this is what I follow. Okay, but there's no hard and fast rule. It is up to your requirement. Yes, as expected, it is working. And if you want to cross verify, what we can do, just see whether it accepts a different browser or not. So first let me check whether we have configured Firefox or not. Yes, we have changed. We have, like, it should take Firefox as well. So let's see. This time I will change my browser to Firefox and hit enter. And as expected, it is opening now Firefox as well. So it means it is working. Our parameters passing, everything is working. So that's all I have for today. So let's have a small recap. We have seen how to create build, how to use this surefire plugin, how to create parameters, and how to pass parameters from Eclipse, how to pass parameter from command prompt, how to run this build from command prompt, how to build this from Eclipse. Okay, so that's all I have for today. So if you like this video, hit the like button, share with your friends and colleagues, and don't forget to subscribe my channel In the next video, we are going to see how we can integrate the same thing with Jenkins. Okay, even the parameters, how we can integrate with Jenkins. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.